Jewish Channel's Week in Review. Ultra-Orthodox controversy generates headlines around the globe and generating a new generation of Jewish leaders. It's the Jewish news that's changing your world on this episode of the Week in Review. Hello, and welcome to the Jewish Channel's Week in Review. I'm Stephen I. Weiss. The ultra-Orthodox world is making global headlines this week, with two different stories generating much discussion and controversy. Firstly, amid charges of racism, the ultra-Orthodox of the Israeli town of Emmanuel gathered by the thousands to protest an Israeli Supreme Court decision that sentenced parents to 2 weeks in prison for what the court asserted was segregation by race. Controversy over the Beit Yaakov Girls' School in Emmanuel had been ongoing for years as a result of a segregation policy that Hasidic leaders say is meant to provide religious insulation, but which the Israeli Supreme Court said has resulted in de facto segregation in which Sephardic Jewish students are kept separate from Ashkenazi Jewish students. The parents sent to jail are refusing to send their children to schools with students that mix students from the two communities. The ultra-Orthodox say that they aren't discriminating against Sephardic Jews in specific and are instead seeking to keep standards in place that keep their children from mixing with others who have televisions in their homes, interact with secular relatives, or don't conform to very specific standards of dress. To bolster their claim that they're discriminating on matters of religious practice and not on matters of race, ultra-Orthodox Jews have pointed to the fact that several of the arrested parents are Sephardic Jews themselves. The Israeli Supreme Court, however, pointed to the fact that the overwhelming majority of students discriminated against are, in the end, Sephardic. Of course, the larger issue here could be the separation in ideology between the secular Israeli Supreme Court and the ultra-Orthodox Jews refusing its jurisdiction. In a story that's made waves here in the United States, Shalom Rubashkin, the kosher slaughterhouse owner convicted of bank fraud, was sentenced to 27 years in prison in order to pay $26 million in restitution. The decision led to instant uproar in the ultra-Orthodox world. A rally of thousands was held in Brooklyn, and condemnation of the decision poured in from ultra-Orthodox leaders. Many legal scholars have been quoted responding to the sentencing of Rubashkin, who is 50 years old. Thus far, there's no clear consensus as to whether the sentencing is particularly harsh or not. In making her sentencing decision, it appears that Judge Linda Reed took into account allegations regarding Rubashkin's conduct, regarding hiring illegal immigrants and child laborers, though all such charges against Rubashkin were either dismissed or led to acquittals. Rubashkin's legal team has said it will appeal the decision. And now to a very different matter, about finding new strategies for invigorating Jewish life. Some of the most interesting innovations in the Jewish community in the past decade, like Heeb Magazine and J-Dub Records, owe a significant part of their early growth to one organization, the Joshua Venture. That group provided a kickstart in financing and training to several young organizations in the earlier part of the decade, but didn't have the resources to continue doing so in recent years. Now, however, the group is rolling again, and Rebecca Honig-Friedman has the story.
In the effort to become the next generation of Jewish leaders, these men and women have just been given a jump start. They are the recipients of the 2010 Joshua Venture Group Fellowship, whose goal is to
cultivate the talent of young Jewish social entrepreneurs. And we believe by doing so, we will create a more expansive and a reinvigorated Jewish community.
The 8 visionaries tapped for this mission were officially introduced at a meet-and-greet luncheon at City Winery in downtown Manhattan last week, where they hobnobbed with other Jewish leaders, heard from keynote speaker David Bornstein, author of How to Change the World, and had a chance to plug their initiatives, which run the gamut from Sarah Lefton's web-based Jewish literacy site, Godcast.
Last year we got started by animating the entire Torah.
To Zelig Golden's Bay Area-based Back to Nature and Adventure Wilderness Torah.
We camped in the redwoods, we did Havdalah under the stars, and we mikvahed in a freezing cold river.
To Ellie Winkleman's college campus-based Social Action Through Baking initiative, Challah for Hunger.
We're creating new points of entry into the Jewish world and Jewish tradition, and we're building bridges from within our community outward.
Over the next 2 years, thanks to Joshua Venture, these fellows and their peers will receive leadership training at semi-annual retreats, various support services, and $100,000 toward their initiative. To find out more about Joshua Venture and these fellows' visions for the future of the Jewish community, tune in to the full broadcast version of the Week in Review.
Thank you, Rebecca. That's all for this week. For more news and analysis from the Jewish Channel during the week, please check out our blog at newsdesk.tjctv.com. From all of us here at the Jewish Channel, be well. The Jewish Channel is available on cable: IO Optimum Cable Channel 291, Time Warner Cable Channel 528, RCN Channel 268, Verizon Fios Channel 900, and Cox Cable Channel 1. For more information, visit tjctv.com.